6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Dilini Gunawardena, assisted by Sanjaya Paladeniya, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Social Welfare Beneficiary Board announces that over 950,000 appeals and objections have been received regarding the Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Scheme. The central bank decides not to renew permits of 15 money changers. The Sri Lanka Transport Board long-distance timetable is digitalized. Australia appreciates the support rendered by the Sri Lankan government to prevent illegal immigrations. Foreign news, President Biden calls on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Sports, Kamindu Mendes to lead SLBC President's 11 against Pakistan. The Social Welfare Beneficiary Board announces that the deadline for filing appeals and objections concerning the Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Scheme was closed this evening. Over 950,000 appeals and objections were received. The chairman of the board, B. Vijayaratna, said that the appeals and objections will be considered in the divisional secretariats. The list of welfare beneficiaries will be announced thereafter. Next month, applications will be invited again for the selection of new Aswasuma beneficiaries for the upcoming year. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank has decided not to renew the money-changing permits of 15 money changers in the country for the year 2023. Issuing a statement in this regard, the Central Bank explained that the relevant decision was taken due to the compliance with the condition of permits issued for the year 2022. Thus, the matter was communicated to the respective money changers on the 22nd of June and they are thereby no longer permitted to engage in money-changing activities, including the buying, selling and exchanging of foreign currency. The central bank further warned that engaging in such activities with the said companies will be considered a contravention of the provisions of the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017. The Sri Lanka Transport Board today launched a mobile and web-based application to make it easy for passengers to find out the timetables for long-distance buses. The application, sltb.eseat.lk, was launched by Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena after a media briefing at the Government Information Department. While launching the application, the minister said this was Sri Lanka's largest online bus coach reservation platform ever. Through the application, people will be able to reserve seats via its online bus ticket booking services. Reservations can be done through the website 24/7 via hotline number 1315. 400 long-distance buses, including 2,500 routes, were added to the system. The arrival and departure of the buses will be displayed through the application. This application was launched in line with the program of digitalizing government institutions. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The commander of Australian Joint Agency Task Force, Rear Admiral Justin Jones, appreciates the support rendered by the Sri Lankan government in order to prevent illegal immigrations to Australia, since Australia leaves no opportunity for illegal immigrations. Therefore, he requested the public not to be misled by the human traffickers. He expressed these views at a media briefing held in Colombo today. 41 Sri Lankans who attempted to immigrate to Australia by illegal means were sent back during last May. The Director General of Operations of Sri Lanka Navy Pradeep Ratnayaka said that there is a strong mechanism going on in order to prevent illegal immigrations between the two countries. The risk of such attempts were emphasized in this occasion. The spokesman to the police, SSP Nihal Taldua, said that over 5,600 people that made an effort to immigrate to Australia have been arrested since 2009. The Tax Appeals Commission says that it has closed over 200 appeal cases and consequently has earned an amount of over 1 billion rupees for the government. Appointed by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, this commission is in operation since last September. The chairman of the commission, retired appeal court judge Chandra Jayatilaka, said that any Sri Lankan citizen can submit appeals regarding tax matters to the commission. The appeals could be made via the number 0112 328 164. The number once again 0112 328 164. And that ends local news for now.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
3,315 persons were recruited for nursing training. The relevant appointment letters were handed over to them at the Ministry of Health today. The function was chaired by Minister Dr. Keheliya Rambukwella. The minister added that plans are underway to establish a nursing university. It was further disclosed that action is being taken to recruit 2,497 nursing officers who have completed the 3 years nursing training. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
On to Watchlight. The results of the GCE A-Level Examination 2022 will be released by mid-August this year. Minister Dr. Susil Premajayant says that A-Level Examination of 2023 will be held afterwards so that the students will not face any difficulties in applying for the A-Level exam of 2023. The minister says that A-Level exam 2023 will be held before Christmas this year, and that came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to world news, the headlines. President Biden calls on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Poland strengthens Belarus border over Wagner fears, and heavy rainfall and flooding in India's Himachal Pradesh. President Biden is calling on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak before visiting King Charles. Premier Sunak said it was great to carry on conversation after a series of meetings this year, including last month's visit to Washington. He added that the pair would consider how to strengthen their cooperation and joint economic security to the benefit of their citizens. Both leaders are due to attend the NATO summit in Lithuania, which starts tomorrow. The prospect of mercenaries from Russian Wagner Group moving to Belarus as part of the deal struck to end their mutiny has made Poland extra wary of its neighbor. A border once marked by a few pillars and wooden lookout posts has already been transformed by miles of tall metal fencing, thermal cameras and spotlights. Ahead of this week's NATO summit in Lithuania, the Polish government has been warning that Wagner forces could be used to spark more trouble, so it's deploying hundreds of extra officers at its eastern border as reinforcements. The northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh has been witnessing heavy rainfall over the last few days, causing flooding and landslides in the hilly terrain. The gushing water is sweeping away bridges, homes and cars and is causing widespread devastation in the state. The neighbouring Uttarakhand state is in a similar situation, and water levels of several rivers in the region have crossed the danger mark. More than a dozen people have died in the past 3 days across North India due to the rains. And back to the headlines of the world news. President Biden is calling on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Poland strengthens Belarus border over Wagner fears, and heavy rainfall and flooding in India's Himachal Pradesh. That ends world news.
Development news.
A Thai low-cost airline, Thai Air Asia, commenced a direct flight service between Bangkok, Thailand and Colombo, Sri Lanka from yesterday night. Resuming its operations, the first flight, Thai Air Asia AIQ 140, arrived at the Bandar Naik International Airport on the 9th of July 2023 at 10:06 p.m. An A320 Airbus carrying 134 passengers and 7 crew arrived last Sunday night and returned to Bangkok with 174 passengers. The passengers were warmly welcomed at the BIA upon their arrival with a traditional Kandyan dancing performance and Sri Lanka Tea-Board Ceylon tea gift packs. And that was development news. On to sports news. Sri Lanka Cricket President's 11 squad has been announced for the two-day warm-up game against the visiting Pakistan national team, which will commence tomorrow. Sri Lanka Cricket Selection Committee has selected a 14-member squad to represent SLC President's 11 during the warm-up game. The off-spinning all-rounder Kamindu Mendis will lead the Sri Lankan side. The two-day game will be played at the Mahinda Rajapaksa International Cricket Stadium. And that was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has recorded a profit of 43.4 billion rupees for the first 4 months of 2023, according to the mid-year fiscal position report issued by the Minister of Finance. The imports of petroleum and petroleum products by the CPC for the first 4 months of 2023 amounted to $877.35 million, representing nearly 54% of the total petroleum bill. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
The Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Dr. Bandula Gunadana, says that the construction of the Port Access Elevated Highway will be completed by September 2024. The Minister disclosed this addressing a media briefing yesterday after joining a group of officials to observe the progress of the construction of the project. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 km per hour, can be expected at times in the north central province and in the Putlam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. And that was the weather report. And prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The Social Welfare Beneficiary Board announces that over 950,000 appeals and objections have been received regarding the Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Scheme. The central bank decides not to renew permits of 15 money changers. The Sri Lanka Transport Board long-distance timetable is digitalized. Australia appreciates the support rendered by the Sri Lankan government to prevent illegal immigrations. Foreign news, President Biden calls on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Sports, Kamindu Mendis to lead SLC President's 11 against Pakistan. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And over to Mariela Vandot to keep you company this Monday evening. Over to you, Mariela.